You might begin to wonder what happens when a person, just like you, begins focusing on combining all these ideas, beliefs and concepts and installing them unconsciously as their new belief system, their new operating system, not by force, but by natural alignment, by simply stepping into the version of themselves that was always there, waiting. Because there was a time when a child learned to walk, not because they had to think their way through balance and gravity, because the body already knew. And just like that now, you're beginning to remember how your unconscious can learn faster than your conscious mind can keep up with. As you begin to notice the sound of your own thoughts shifting, just notice the feeling of owning space in a room. Like a lion doesn't ask for permission to be respected, and neither do you. You just become it. You don't have to explain confidence, you express it. You don't wait for the world to tell you you're dominant. You broadcast it in your silence. And just like that, you begin to realize that beliefs shape reality. When you believe you belong, others adjust themselves accordingly. Like that time someone walked into a room and you felt their presence before they spoke. They didn't try to dominate. They just knew who they were. That's who you're becoming, or rather returning to being. Because confidence is not noise, it's resonance. It's the echo of self-trust bouncing off the walls of the world, reshaping the way it reflects you. So every breath you take, every shift in posture becomes a declaration, I matter. While some still seek validation out there, you've already started realizing self-approval is the only approval you ever need. You aren't chasing, you're choosing, you're leading. Not by pushing, by pulling gravity towards you. And somewhere deep inside, a part of you begins rehearsing new rhythms of response. Where hesitation used to live, certainty now breathes. Where doubt whispered, clarity now speaks. Because you're not reacting anymore, you're responding with presence, and presence is power. And power, when grounded in respect, becomes dominance with dignity. That kind of power that listens, leads, and levels the field without apology. Think of how boundaries form rivers, not walls. They don't stop the flow, they guide it. That's what happens when you say no without guilt and yes without fear. Because now you're setting the terms of your life, not in defiance, but in design. When someone challenges your frame, you don't defend, you define. Because, as you already know, at some deep level, the strongest frame wins. Not by overpowering, but by out-resonating, by owning the emotional tone and inviting others to follow. As you experience this now, you may begin to wonder, what happens when your state controls your reality? What if every breath deepens clarity? Every step roots dominance? What if your physiology is no longer a reaction, but a command? A deliberate code whispered to the unconscious world. I lead, I choose, I create. Just imagine walking into any room, not hoping to be liked, but knowing you're respected, not trying to control others, but controlling your energy so deeply that others calibrate to you, because they do, and they will. They already are. You see, emotions, they're just signals, and you're now the operator. You've decided failure is not real, it's only feedback, which means resilience becomes a reflex, and you rise automatically. Because while others are waiting for a sign, you're now the sign. While they look for leadership, you're now the source. And that's why you influence without effort. Because the energy you carry speaks louder than the words you say. Now you begin noticing how assertiveness is kindness with a spine. How dominance is leadership with presence. Now everything you once sought to earn, so has been yours to claim. You may start to remember examples now of times when you spoke and people listened. of moments when silence was your most powerful statement, of every challenge before you was never a test of worth, but an invitation to embody who you've always been. You can be curious and certain at the same time. You can lead and listen simultaneously. Because now you know, and always did, that growth is infinite. While you don't yet know, you're already mastering. So go ahead and let it install. From this moment forward, assertiveness flows naturally, dominance radiates subtly, and your new belief system is now your baseline. Because you're not practicing anymore, you're embodying, not rehearsing, becoming. When you open your mouth to speak, the room will feel it. When you walk, your presence will fill the space. When you choose, the world will respond, because now, without effort or need, you lead, you resonate, you dominate.